Lots of sunlight and pretty ideal temperatures in my opinion anyways. Good time for people to go out. And what did I read today? How about this first one where it's a story about people using weaponized drones and in this case killing military, I guess, patrol. According to this, it says rebels in Colombia attack a military patrol with a drone, killing 3 soldiers. Rebels in northeastern Colombia used a drone to attack a military patrol in a rural area, killing 3 soldiers and injuring 8, the military said. The army blamed the attack on the National Liberation Army, or ELN, a group of approximately 6,000 fighters that has been fighting the Colombian government since the 1960s. The attack took place Sunday outside the town of El Carmen in the Catatumbo region, the military said in a statement. Rebel groups in Colombia are increasingly using drones to attack the military and to attack each other as they fight for control of rural areas. They mostly use commercial photography drones with explosives strapped to them, flying them straight into their targets. Well, is that going to increase all the hysteria and so forth? It says Colombia's defense ministry says that the rebel groups launched 115 drone attacks last year. Sunday's drone attack is one of the deadliest on record. Colombia's government has struggled to contain violence in rural areas that were formerly under the control of the Revolutionary Armed Forces of Colombia, or FARC, the guerrilla group that made peace with the government in 2016. Can you imagine buying something like a Mavic 4 Pro and using it in situations like this? And at the same time, again, I don't think these guys are going to follow any type of regulations or anything like that. You have to find countermeasures in general, and these are the types of people you should be focused on if you're concerned about people using things like, let's just say, photography drones, as they say here. It makes me curious specifically what model drone they were actually using, because I know there's been some actually that use those ones with the payload drops, like they're meant, for example, to drop life jackets and so forth, but as you can imagine, it's not too far-fetched to see people using that for other things as well. Although with that thought of brands of drones and so forth, usually if you think of a drone company, you'd think of a company like DJI, but how about this one? Apparently the company Insta360, that's known for creating 360 cameras, is going to enter the drone market potentially with these leaks. Apparently, according to all of this, the drone is called Antigravity, and you can see the pictures, I guess, of the drone itself. From what I've seen anyways, it looks like there may potentially be 2 different types of drone models being released, and it does have a folding design, so something you're kind of used to seeing, for example, like in the Mavic drones and all that. From the looks of it too, it seems like it's using a fisheye lens type of setup with one on the top and one on the bottom, which would imply obviously this drone would capture 360 images and video. I remember actually they had some accessories before where you could wrap your Insta360 camera around the drone to capture, I guess, all the different types of angles while you're flying. So this one, I guess they decided they wanted to do it themselves. I know DJI was kind of getting into their space as well, getting into things like 360 cameras and so forth. So it's just a way of saying, okay, we can get into your space as well. So I guess they'll have one more for consumer-oriented uses and then one more expensive one potentially. But what would you think? Would you be in the market for a new drone and buy this one if you're actually researching, I guess, which one to buy? And in terms of bits of news that was going around a lot here anyways, apparently, like it says here, the US is implementing some kind of visa integrity fee, and it affects some travelers, including from Canada. So what's going on here? It says some people traveling to the United States from countries including Canada will have to pay a quote visa integrity fee of $250 US, but an immigration lawyer says most Canadian citizens won't be affected, saying here quote, this won't hit Canadian citizens too hard and they can continue to enter the United States as usual. Rosanna Berardi, managing partner of Berardi Immigration Law in Buffalo, New York, said in a video interview. From the sounds of it anyways, for a person like myself, there's no change because it says basically Canadian citizens, you just have to show your passport and all that, just like normal. In general, the visa integrity fee, like it says here, it applies to Canadian permanent residents entering the US, both by land and air, who are not American citizens or who were not born from visa waiver countries. Funny enough, with these topics lately of these fees and so forth, like with tariffs, a lot of people would say it's crazy, it's bad, you're discouraging people from going back and forth. Whereas in this case, again, it doesn't really affect someone who was, let's just say, born here in general. And people were actually suggesting, from what I read, that it might be a good idea for here in Canada to do something like this. I don't know, what would you think of something like this? All right, see you guys later.